Welcome to week 4 of the Pantry Challenge, the Three Rivers Challenge. As you can see, I've got a lot of stuff here. We've got a lot of stuff to cook. And if you are new to our channel, I'm Julia, Aaron's behind the camera, and we are the Canny Couple, a small homestead family in rural Virginia that work every single day to merge homesteading and frugality. And this week I have a lot of stuff planned out. I had actually planned out to cook more, but I didn't have the bandwidth, and I just was like, okay, I've got to pare it down. I've got to pare it down a little bit. We can't cook as much, but I had to add one more thing to my list because of turning on the oven. Because of turning on the oven, I have to add breakfast for next week, so it's going to go in the freezer. For next week, and we'll pull it back out. So what are we having this week? So, oops, sorry about that. So this week we are having, for breakfast, I'm making a French toast bake because I had a whole loaf of bread we didn't eat for lunch. So because we had a whole loaf of bread we didn't eat for lunch, we're having French toast bake. We'll show you how we're going to make that. We're going to have soup. I'm still working through our pantry and getting rid of stuff, so we're going to take one of these. We're going to amp up the flavor. We're going to add chicken and other goodies to this to make it better and more than what it actually is. This is one of those just add water to soup mixes, and they're good. We've ate a lot of these.
Yeah.
We like them, but we're going to add more than just water to it. We're going to add broth, and we're just going to really amp up the nutrition, amp up the flavor. For dinner, I'm making pork, and I did not get around to making Aaron potato salad for Christmas, so he's eating potato salad, and I am going to have sweet potatoes because I don't eat potato salad, and we're also going to have chips and salsa. So I'm cheating a little bit. I was going to do barbecue pork sandwiches, but also do like a Mexican pork on like a tostada because I had these little chips. I'll show them to you. And I just figured I didn't have the bandwidth to make all the things I would need for that. So this is tired mama, worn down mama meal. Let's get started. Let's start with lunch because here is where I am. So I've already got canned potatoes. These are potatoes from our garden that we canned. This was a pint. Rinsed them off, got the starches off. I know a lot of people do not like canned potatoes. I get it. I get it. You don't like the way they taste. We don't care. It doesn't bother us.
No.
Not at all. We have found that the taste does not bother us. If you rinse off the starches, and especially in soup, I found that you can't taste it at all. Try to be really careful with broth. I have had it pop out into my eyes. So we started off with 1 pint there. I'm going to do a pint or a quart of chicken, and I'm going to leave all the broth in it here. And this is not a recipe. This is we are throwing everything in this now. I am not a throw everything in the kitchen sink soup person. I'm not that person. I'm very careful with what I throw into soup. I'm super careful. If I don't think it's going to go, I don't think it's going to go. So I'm super careful. And I'm going to do 2 quarts of broth. And these are either turkey or chicken. To me, it really doesn't matter for this soup. And it was, you needed 8 cups of water, so 2 quarts should work out just fine. It might be a little bit soupy. And I might sneeze here in just a second. We're going to turn it on high. Then we're going to add 1 can of carrots. And we're going to add 1 can of corn. I don't throw them into my sweet potatoes. And you get this to a bowl. And then we will add the soup mix. And what it will do is it'll just turn it creamy, and we'll have all the other vegetables and the rice in here as well. So it's just going to beef this soup up and make it a little bit more filling, and that already looks really good anyway. So
Yeah, it does.
It already looks pretty good. I am going to add some salt because I will tell you these are not really seasoned. So I am going to add salt. I don't do a lot of seasoning in my broth. I leave my broth very plain, and I do that on purpose. I just want the richness and the flavor from the bones. I just want the nutrition from the bones. That's what I kind of focus on there. So I'm going to pop this up, and we're going to let this come to a boil. We'll just kind of keep an eye on it here. Set that to the side. So we're going to let this do its thing. Now my sweet potatoes, all I did was take them out of the jar. And you can tell they've already kind of started smashing. I'm going to put them in the oven and let the liquid evaporate while everything else cooks in the oven. Since I'm turning the oven on, I'm going to use the oven. That is why, since the oven's coming on, we're going to use it to cook as much as we can. I try to use the oven as much as I can when I turn it on.
And when you're talking about coming out of a can, these are ones
home can,
home
yeah,
can.
Home can. They were home can. I did two quarts and a pint. So these were for me, and if Isabel wants some, she can have some. She's still a little iffy. Sometimes she will eat them, sometimes she will not. So we just kind of let her try them as she will, and we don't force it, and she will eat them when she's ready. Potato salad, while this is coming up to a boil, I'm going to listen to it very closely. I have 4 pints of potatoes already rinsed, and the starch is off them. I was very careful on these. I got as much starch off of these as I could, and I'm going to heavily salt these. Now this is not my mama's recipe. This is the home canned version because I don't have an onion, and this is not home. This is home relish. I think the relish I actually didn't have an onion for because we forgot the onion for the store, so it was missing an onion. And I always do a sniff test here. So I'm going to take a jar of relish that was home canned.
Sweet relish.
Sweet relish. It's got a little bit of pepper in it. And this is one of the reasons that we actually did potatoes. So one of the reasons I focused on doing potatoes for us was to make sure that we could have more room in our freezer. So that's one of the reasons we tried it, but also for a really quick and easy potato salad. I'm going to get as much of the mayonnaise out of here as I can. That one's gone. My hands are clean. For you all yell at me, did you wash your hands? Yes, I did before we started. I have very clean hands. They're so clean that they are cracked and broken, kind of falling apart at the moment. And I forgot an ingredient. So
I know you did.
You know I did. So give me just a second and I'll be right back. Erin knows what I forgot. Have to have mustard. It's not, this is just our southern potato salad. Potato salad that we use, my mom makes. And
this is the way I had it growing up too.
What Erin, this is how I want them. This is my peanut butter balls. I think after he had my peanut butter balls was when he tested my ring finger size. I think it was. Wasn't it?
I don't exactly remember.
It was close. It was close. So it's eggs, mustard, relish. You can add an onion, and then I add a little bit of pickle juice. Now, I'm going to tell you something. We don't buy pickles very often. I actually need to buy a jar of pickles. I have home canned pickles, but it's not the same. It is not the same. It's dill pickles. If you run out of pickle juice, add vinegar to a jar of a little bit of pickles. You can do this for a really long time because I've been adding vinegar to this for
Couple years.
for a couple of years now, and it works. But I will tell you, I need to replace it. Pepper. We're going to give it a couple of quick smashes, and I need to pause for just a second. So we're going to get this smashed up, and I have found that with canned potatoes, it does seem a little bit runnier, but that is okay for Aaron. Aaron's the one that has to eat this, not me, so that's what matters. You can use a mixer, but the problem with a mixer is
Gets too much like mashed potatoes.
it gets too much like mashed potatoes.
I
And
don't
Aaron
like
doesn't
it.
want mashed potatoes. He wants potato salad.
Yes.
Now I will tell you, I got mad this morning when I was prepping this. So I did 6 hard-boiled eggs for this of our chicken eggs. The last time I tried to do chicken eggs, I was so frustrated. I could not get the stupid things to peel at all. What's y'all's trick? My father-in-law said, they were the easiest things to peel. I said, okay, the next time I need them, I'm going to send them to you. I'll boil them and everything. You can just do them. You can do them. Whatever. Because I sent him like just a couple. He went and got our eggs. So he took a few of, he got them for us while we were gone on a little trip. And said they were the easiest things to boil compared to other eggs. Well, I can't get them to do. These didn't have a single one of them. But of course, I'm not eating them.
Hey, at least I know they'll be good. So as you see, that's looking like what I'm used to having my potato salad was.
Yes. And I will say, it is a little runnier than what it would normally be if I cooked it, because I didn't heat the potatoes up. They didn't need to be heated. They're already cooked. They're already cooked through, so they didn't need to be heated up. And this is what I like about having home canned food. I don't have to heat it up. I don't have to do anything with it. With potato salad, it doesn't need to be cooked. Now, I can't give you a recipe on this. I can't tell you how much mayonnaise. I can't tell you how much of anything is in this. Because it's all done by Aaron's taste buds. Like, legitimately, all done by Aaron's taste buds. Does it need more mustard?
A little bit more mustard, yep.
That's what I thought. But everything else is good. Mm-hmm. Okay.
So yeah, as you notice, it's more till you get it to your flavor that you like.
No more vinegar?
No.
And if you want it smoother, you can make it smoother. It's really finding the way you like it. And I think potato salad is really a regional thing, because you have people who like it just mayonnaise. You have people who like it just mustard. Here in the South, it is not tater salad unless it's got mayo and mustard and relish in it.
Yep.
Like, I'm not joking. You go to church function and you bring potato salad that just got mayonnaise in it, and around here you're gonna get kicked out. You get kicked out.
As you see, that's what usually looks like about right now, and then
But I would tell you, I would get kicked out without the onion in it.
yeah, you would.
I would get kicked out without the onion in it. And but we found it works fine for Aaron.
Right.
It works just fine for Aaron. He doesn't care about the onion very much. That's not something that's important to him. my mom would say it's wrong without the onion in it.
But it's not good until it's cold.
It has to be really cold. So I need to put this in the refrigerator. It's got mayonnaise in it, and I gotta get the mayonnaise put up. So I will be right back, and I'm gonna show you breakfast. We're gonna start breakfast in just a second, but I wanna go ahead and add this soup mix to my liquid here, my broth, the chicken, the corn, and the potatoes. So we're just gonna mix it in. It says to whisk it, but I think I can get away with just stirring it in. I'm gonna go really slow. I don't want to whisk because I'm afraid if I whisk, I might tear up that chicken where it is canned. We're just going to be very careful. And go really slow. Super slow. And tell me in the comments below, do you all like this brand? We've actually really stopped buying a lot of these kinds of things as we've been trying to get more natural and making things ourselves. I'm pretty sure I can home make these myself with the freeze dryer and all of those good things that we have. And with the garden and the dehydrator and all of that. But let me know in the comments below, do you all buy these? What do you like? Because we bought a lot of these before.
Yeah, they were
really good. They were helpful.
Yeah,
Saves you a lot of time.
This is probably one of our favorites.
This was one of our favorites. Look how thick that got. How pretty that is. I will tell you, it's the first time I've added anything to them.
Mm-hmm. We just always had them back in the day,
plain,
just like that. Yeah.
But I never really did a lot of canning back then beyond actual tomatoes and a few jellies and jams. So now I'm just going to turn it down. I have to be careful with this stove. I have to be very careful with the stove. Okay, now it's time to make this lovely French toast bake. So French toast bake, you hear about them all the time. Now, a lot of people will tell you you need to let these set overnight. I am not that person because normally you don't let French toast set overnight. You make French toast, you soak it in the bread, you fry it immediately. That's why I will typically go ahead and make it. So I have 10 eggs that I went ahead and pulverized with my immersion blender. I like to use my immersion blender for these kinds of things. And to make this one of those things that was more pantry stable, I do have milk I could have used, but decided I would go ahead and use one of my stockpiles of evaporated milk. I can get more evaporated milk on sale. It has been one of the things that I can get relatively cheap in our area. So I'm going to use a little bit of evaporated milk here. I want to open that up just a little bit more. I probably need to start replacing it. I tend to hoard my evaporated milk. Tell me in the comments. Nobody answered that question. Do you hoard your evaporated milk or not? Let me know. Now, I was surprised we only ate one loaf of bread. Typically, we eat a little bit more. And Isabel was obsessed with peanut butter and jelly sandwiches this week. I mean, she was eating eggs and a peanut butter and jelly sandwich this week. I could not feed her enough of it. So she was going crazy. I'm going to put some salt. I'm going to put a little bit of our homemade vanilla. I might have to add some water because this is evaporated milk. You can thin it out, and that's okay. Get that lid back on there. Yep.
Did you see I was trying to move that out of the way?
And I'm going to do cinnamon. So she was being very helpful, helping me get ready for the video. And she took my cinnamon and tipped it upside down. Luckily, the lid was on, but...
And we'll tell you why she's being helpful here in a minute or two.
And we're just going to give this a really quick whisk here. then we're going to pour it over this bread. And I like to chop mine up. You can do this in slices, but I just like to do a really quick chop on mine, just to break it apart. And she said she would try it. We've tried French toast with her before, but she is liking syrup now. So I think if we do syrup, she might actually eat it. Now, I will tell you, syrup in our house is not treated like syrup in a lot of other people's houses. I have eliminated the pour over syrup. I'm not a syrup eater. I do not eat syrup. I use it in a few things. I do use syrup, make maple syrup for homemade cereals, and I'll show you how we do that here in the coming months, maybe in the coming weeks, if I feel up to it. But for Aaron and Isabel, syrup is a dipping thing. It will stretch your syrup so much further if you dip it and not pour over.
It does.
Like before, it was...
Well, we only use the pure maple syrup too. So,
yes,
you know, we get a gallon. Usually we can get it at our Rural King for about $25 for a gallon.
And I make it last.
Yes.
I make that stuff last. I try to push it out as far as I can. I'm going to need some water. So I'm going to get some water in this bowl.
And as you see, this old bottle that we always talk about, it's so good to put our
vanilla in. It's been one of the best bottles. It really has. I have another one that I like to use too. And I'm just going to try to incorporate, you know, get this in there and get it just covered as much as I can. And you can do this with day-old bread. It doesn't have to be day-old bread, but anytime I have scrap bread, you just throw it in there in your freezer in a bag. You just throw it in a freezer in a bag, and trust me, it works. It absolutely works for French toast, French toast break, bagels, everything. Stuffing. It works for stuffing, all of it.
Yep.
Now stuffing, I'd be careful what bagels you use. I wouldn't use blueberry bagels for stuffing.
Right. But I mean, you use that for like your leftover bread and stuff too.
But a lot of people would let this sit. You can let this sit overnight. You can. I'm not going to. I don't need to. It will cook. It will cook. There's no reason to waste the time. The cinnamon has my nose all messed up. We're just keep mixing it. And the fork works really well. You can tell the bread's soft. This was that loaf of bread we made last week. I tossed it in the freezer when I realized we were not going to eat it. We didn't cut one piece off. Isabel was eating it, but I have this knife. I have found like the perfect bread cutting knife. It is, I don't know what it is, but it's cheap. I can tell it's cheap. It's thin. And I look at people who's probably spent $200 or $300 on these fancy bread cutting knives. And I'm thinking, there's no way I'm ever giving up my cheap knife, because no other knife cuts bread as good as this one, because I can get bread to like paper thin. And that's the way I want it. I want it paper thin and perfectly sliced, and it works just right for me. And me and Isabel, and Aaron can get a little bit thicker, and it just works just perfect for us. And I don't want it any other way. I don't want any other way. I don't want any other knife. I wash it every night, and it's got a plastic handle on it. And I picked it up to try it out of pure desperation. And I told Aaron, I said, this knife cut bread better than anything else I've ever used on bread. It was pure desperation. And I'll never go back to another one. I will never be able to find another one like it. And it was cheap. It had to be. It was something I inherited from the house. I have no idea where it came from. Do you have any idea where it came from?
No.
So this is what it turned out like. As you can see, it looks like mush, but it's going to bake up beautiful. Beautiful. It's going to taste wonderful. So there is that. And we have most of our dinner done. We'll bake that. The potato salad is in there. Now, my pork. I'm going to cut here and we're going to show you how I did the pork because I cooked the pork in the Instant Pot, so let me show you how I actually did that. So here is our pork roast here. I have already cut it down some so it will cook faster in my Instant Pot. Now this is not typically how we prefer to eat pork. Actually, we prefer it smoked, but this is just Mama is tired and smoking takes a really long time to cook pork. So I'm going to go ahead and get it seasoned up here. And this is a faster way. I really feel like the Instant Pot is one of those things that, especially on a homestead, is underutilized. Especially when it comes to cooking meat quickly or cooking anything quickly. And also for getting things on the table fast or getting things into your canner fast. So first we add our salt. Go get your toys. And then I'm going to add this barbecue seasoning. Erin will make a barbecue sauce to go on this, and I'm just going to add it, and this is going to intensify. Yeah, okay, we know you're back. And it's just going to intensify the flavor here. And we just need to add a little bit, not a lot, of flavor here. And get it out, and it's the chili powder that's made it, and it's just this 5-0 rub that Erin picked out. He picks out a lot of different seasonings, and I'm not going to put in a lot because it's going into the Instant Pot, so it's going to really intensify the flavor. So if you have an Instant Pot and you're looking for a really quick way to cook your meat, I will tell you, I've cooked a whole turkey in here before. A whole turkey. Like you're probably like, there's no way you cooked a whole turkey. Yep. Yes, I did. Many a times I have cooked a whole turkey in here, and I will cook another turkey in here again. And here we go. We're adding the rest of our seasoning in here. And then the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add a pint of turkey broth in here. And turkey, chicken, it doesn't really matter. Turkey is what I pulled out. We're only adding 1 pint because this is going to make enough of its own broth inside the canner. I will put it on manual. I'm going to put it on manual for 2.5 hours. It will cook. It will come to pressure, and then I'm just going to let it come down. And when we come back, you will see this all nice and cooked. Erin will make a sauce, and I'll show you all what it tastes like later. So, I promised my little one I'd make her a cake.
And she has gone absolutely nuts.
I don't know if this is actually going to turn out because I've never made a cake, this kind of cake, with this brand before. But I needed to use this up because it was in my pantry. It's one of the last cake mixes that I had that's old in the pantry. I need to use it up. So if it doesn't work out, I'll be digging out another cake mix from there.
Or creating one.
Or making one from scratch. I don't feel up to that, so I'll be using one of the cake mixes out of there. I have all the stuff to do it. It's just, I'm tired. It should work. I can't imagine that it wouldn't. So this is one of those really easy cakes that you make. What you do is you take a can of pumpkin. It's not really a cake. It's more like a brownie. You take a can of pumpkin and a cake mix, mix it together, you put it in a pan, and it's like a really moist brownie. Is what it turns out like. And it's just really wonderful and fluffy. And I had this canned pumpkin in there. I really needed to use it up. I keep a couple cans of pumpkin, commercial canned pumpkin on hand, just in case I need it. for things like this, because home canned and home frozen pumpkin doesn't taste the same for this recipe. And this is one of Erin's favorite ways to eat cake. Or like a brownie. That's what it tastes like. It does. It tastes
it's closer to a brownie.
It's so gooey and yummy, but she has been going crazy. And I promised her I'd make her one.
She actually saw the box on the counter to lay out for this and was like, cakey? Cakey?
And it's hard to believe because
she's not really seen that many
box
cake mixes before.
I've tried to make most of them for her from scratch.
And she was wanting it now.
Right now.
And does not want to wait.
Like, now. Cakey now. Like I didn't want.
Like, I've ate my lunch. Why is it not done?
Like, and I said, okay, Mommy's got to go, we need to take our nap. Mommy's going to go make your cakey. Okay. So this is a gluten-free cake mix I had gotten when I was trying a gluten-free diet for some other things we were working on. And I just needed to use it up. I think I got it for my birthday cake, actually, because I refused not to have a birthday cake. And we're just going to mix it up. This is really all it is. And if you have not tried this, I'm serious, try it. I don't know what it would be like vanilla. I would say the pumpkin would probably come out more. And the chocolate doesn't cover up the pumpkin. It does not cover up the pumpkin at all.
No.
But they work together really well. Chocolate and pumpkin do work together. They really do. They go very, very well together. You would think they wouldn't. But chocolate and pumpkin really do act really well together, and this is just one of those recipes. If you have not tried, give it a shot. It does work super well together. And if you have a cake mix you need to use up and you got a can of pumpkin, give it a shot. It's so easy. You don't have to use eggs, you don't have to use oil, you don't have to use water. Just bake it till it comes out clean. And it's more like a brownie texture. You don't even have to use frosting. Now I would probably do a little bit of powdered sugar and water, just to give it that little bit of a frosting layer on it. Erin really likes that on it, that little bit of a crunchy layer on top, and just to make the baby a little bit more happy. I can do without it. I just want the cake. And look at how easy that was. It came together so fast, so easy. No effort, no work. I will get this into a grease pan and we're done with that meal. Now, breakfast next week, because my oven is on. I'm utilizing the oven to the best of my ability because if it's on, we're going to use it. What we are doing this next week is actually I'm going to do a baked oatmeal. I typically have not been doing a lot of baked oatmeals because we haven't had the oven on and they don't really fit in my little oven very well. So what I have in here is 3.5 cups of oats. I'm going to throw in a little bit of this walnut flour. It's really not flour, it's really just ground up walnuts. So it's going to give us a little bit of that walnut flavor. And we're just going to throw
Which is good in stuff like this.
It's very good in oatmeal, especially when you're doing an apple oatmeal. We're going to add 1 jar of our baked apples. We're going to do, yes, I know I shouldn't have had a ring on that. Don't yell at me. I've been getting better about that. We're going to do 1 half pint of pear butter. This is pear butter. So we're doing an apple and pear. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to give this a really quick stir. And I'm also going to grab that vanilla. And this won't need any more sugar.
No.
It will. I mean, the apples, because I left out that liquid in it, it won't need any more sugar. But before I stir that anymore, I need to.
I was gonna say I can smell it. It smells good.
Look at that. That's done. The soup is finished. Look how pretty that is.
Smells very good.
And with oyster crackers, I'll use up a couple bags of those oyster crackers, and that will get that finished. So lunch is finished. Officially done. Aaron will try that. And we'll get this done. I was going to use plum butter originally, but was a little worried Aaron might have freaked out if I tried plum butter before. I know pear will pair nicely with the apples.
So far, when we tried the plum, when you'd done it, it was a little bit more on the sour side.
Yes. Well, that's why I thought with the apples it might work. Because the apples are very sweet. I know if I do the plums, they will take sugar. But I am running low on sugar. I have coconut sugar now. We're just going to give it a stir. Just keep stirring. Get it all mixed up. And I will need a little bit of liquid. I'll have to get that. And I'll get some more in this jar too. Give me just a second. I'm going to pause for just a second. We're going to get some water and get that taken care of here. Okay, so I'm just trying to get all of the liquid out of that jar and getting that added in. I don't want to add too much liquid to these rolled oats because it won't take them too long to cook. I don't want them to spend too much time in the oven. As you can see, that was just right. We just want them to have enough time in the oven to cook. And then that little bit of walnut flour is going to just add just enough of a walnut taste to them. If you have actual walnuts, you can add those to them or any other type of nuts that you like. With apples, it's just really nice. You can also do peaches. We love to bake peach oatmeal. It is absolutely amazing. And I did this in one of my bigger jars, my bigger pans, flatter pans. So this should not take very long to cook, and it should be flatter. It should get a little bit crisper. I did that on purpose, so it would get crisper a little bit faster. It smells good. It smells very good. And I didn't add any seasoning to it because of the pear butter. The pear butter had a lot of seasoning to it, so it should have a nice, good flavor to it. And like I said, this is going in the freezer, but Aaron will do a taste test of it. So everything is ready. The pork we are just waiting on right now. We are waiting for it to cool down enough so I can actually pop it open and pull it apart. We'll show you what that looks like. Everything else will get to the oven and bake it up. Once everything is done cooking, Aaron will do a taste test, show you what it all looks like and tastes like after it's all done. Maybe not the cake. I don't know if there's going to be any cake left. The little one already said she was going to eat it all.
Yes. Okay, we're back here with everything done. So if you want to show what everything turned out like.
So here's the pork. Here's breakfast. That's what I didn't have. I didn't get any breakfast cut for you.
Whoops.
You might have to get a spoon and get you out a piece of that.
Okay. Okay, so.
I don't know what you will start with.
We'll start with this.
This is the French toast bake with a can of blueberries that I pulled out and put on top.
Okay. And I will say, I'm not usually the French toast type of person.
He is not.
Blueberries definitely help.
Does it need more? For you?
Hopefully not. Hopefully that's enough.
It might need more. I've got plenty of blueberries.
Tastes like French toast.
It does.
Yeah, it does.
It needs more blueberries.
Okay.
You need more blueberries.
Okay, so let's try a bite of this.
Just take it from the middle. Just take it right from the middle.
Well, where's
Just
it
like
where
a
it
man.
comes from?
Just like a man. You're right from the middle.
Middle's the best part. That's good. That's very good.
Did you at least like the French toast?
Yeah.
It's just not your favorite.
It's just not my favorite.
This is the lunch.
This is the soup.
And he was worried when I told him what I was going to do with this.
I was. That's pretty good. That's really good.
It's really good.
Okay.
And
So-
this is dinner. So the chips were...
A bag of corn tostadas that we didn't get around to using, so now they're chips.
They're chips.
So,
And salsa. So bought these on sale. And what we do with salsa is I thin it out. That's how I stretch it. So put it in a cup, thin it out. So it's just regular salsa and chips. It's been a while since we've had salsa and chips. I mean, it's been so long.
they're good. Tastes just like regular corn chips.
And this is the pork or the potato salad. I know he's going to like the potato salad. The look on his face.
That's good. I was trying to see how not to make a mess with this one. Okay, so this is the
And
pork.
he made barbecue sauce for this.
So it's a homemade barbecue sauce.
This is not our preferred way to make pork. But it works when I'm exhausted.
You know, it's what I went back to.
His favorite.
And then this is some of the brownie. That's good.
Even the gluten-free. I was a little worried.
It is.
It looks different. It looks different. It looks. I've not added any of the sugar stuff on it. Does it need it?
I don't think it does.
Oh, okay.
I'll keep it back for you. Okay, so everything turned out good. You know, I'll try not to eat all the potato salad.
Yeah, he'll have it all gone. It won't take long.
Okay, well, you know, go and check out our link tree with all of our other content. And, you know, if you haven't hit the like and subscribe button, we would really appreciate it. And
Thank you for joining us on the Canny Couple, where we work hard, live simple, enjoy life. And Aaron's going to eat all this potato salad and probably a second helping before the night's over. Have a great day.